out of the room and let's talk about, like I said, this channel is about love, and about building the bridge between the sexes. And I can't do that without talking about Jada Pinkett Smith. Okay. Now, I definitely wanted to talk about her last week when I was under the weather, but I'm kind of happy I didn't, because it's given more time for her to go on her tour and talk more about her feelings with Tupac, her marriage with Will, and she's just been going on an entire storm since her book Worthy came out, right? So I want to discuss that for a minute, because I'm not against, okay, anybody having a tell-all book or telling, the secrets and everything like that. However, I believe that you should tell or share things that nobody knows, and that it was a quiet as it kept, right? Here, I feel like she's coming clean rather than just sharing stuff. I feel like she's coming clean about, i.e., most importantly, her marriage, right? We find out that her and Will have not been together for umpteen years. Basically lying to the public. I mean, they said they had an open, people were speculating, right, for years that they had an open marriage, right? It's not open. It's not a marriage. It's not existent. So, of course, people have been able to infiltrate in and out. So, when people would, you look back at things and you say, wow, because I remember, years back, people were like, oh, I want a relationship like Will and Jada, where it's, people that were like polyamorous relationships and stuff like that would talk about, use Will and Jada as an example, right? Now, come to find out, they're not poly. They do not share partners. They're not in. Will messes with his women. Jada messes with her men, right? So it's like they've been just straight up lying, right, to the public. And I feel between me and you guys, I kind of feel like she owes the world an apology, because she's been a fraud this entire time, and I feel like if you can be a fraudulent person in one aspect of your life, I feel like you can be a fraud in all aspects of your life. So, and going into that, right, I'd seen recently D.L. Hughley post on his page a woman that went through the entire breakdown of catching Jada in a lie about her saying that Tupac proposed to her while he was in jail, and going through that whole timeline. And I bring this up in Kaynichole After Dark because in relationships, you have to be honest with yourself, right? You got to be honest with yourself. And I feel like this is only half of her being honest with herself, so that she can now move forth and be honest in her entirety, because I feel like she's been a walking fraud. And personally, I mean, I know some people here have loved Jada since she came into the movie world. I'm not a fan of Jada. I was never crazy about her personally. But now I know why. Now I know why I haven't been a fan of her. Angel Exodus Presents says big facts, straight deception. Yeah, I feel like she's been very deceptive to the public. And like I said, it's about this platform is about relationships. So I feel her credibility with the relationship with her fans The relationship that she has with Will is, in my opinion, tarnished. I mean, I'm only an outsider looking in, but we all are aware of the slap heard around the world. And she's spoken about that. And for her to then kind of reverse Will's apology by saying, I don't know, why Will went up and slapped Chris. I don't even know why he was calling me his wife. I haven't heard him call me his wife in years. Like, that you could have left to yourself, right? I feel it was very divisive. Because even if you are trying to get your truth and everything like that, to me as an outsider, I do feel like she's attacking him. And she's, to use Stephen A. Smith's words, emasculating him out in public. And he might be fine with it because, there are some men that are just open for their wives. There are some men that their women really can't do anything wrong. And they're just, they'll just lay down dead for her. There's some men that will do that. And I'm not going to kowtow to, I don't feel any man or woman should kowtow to anybody, but especially if they're making you look crazy in the public, because this kind of takes away the entire narrative that Will Smith had said in his apology and everything like that. And I mean, people are feeling bad for Will and feel like Jada's the arch nemesis of hell, but I mean, they're both wrong. They're both at fault, because a marriage is a union. Okay? A union that you made before God. Okay? Now, had they not said vows and everything like that and did some kind of other kind of ceremony, then I could understand. Then, this, what I'm saying would be irrelevant. But they made vows, and maybe I'm just that old school, but I'm saying, if you did that, then see them through or divorce, and they could have divorced in 2016, when they saw that they weren't going to work it out and start living in separate homes and living separate lives and everything like that. It's like, once you start being completely separate, there is no marriage. The marriage breakdown is completely done, so living this facade and having other people in your marriage outside of God, it's just causing for devastation. And I understand, and I understand now why Willow and Jaden are kind of the way they are. No shade, but I do kind of see that, because if your mom is trying to be a free spirit and your dad has, well, according to him, has thought about marriage since he was 5 years old and dreamt about marriage, then there's something to think about, but I'm not one to judge, but she was pregnant walking down the aisle, so that kind of shows you even how they move in a way, like I said, it's not judgment, it's just more, watching and evaluating and seeing how things progress. It's a shame, because everybody looked to Will and Smith, like even J. Cole, right, talks about that Will and Jada love. And I don't know, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I never saw them as the epitome of black love, honestly. The couple that I always kind of saw, that I quote kind of see black love to, was my girl Angela Bassett and Courtney B. Vance, and my boy Boris Kojo and his girl Nicole Ari Parker. And if you look up those relationships, those have been together for mad long. Makeup Doja said he skipped over that part in his recent concert. Haha. Okay, who skipped over it? And Angel presents, and they may both be wrong, but she's the one coming off like a villain. There's no strength in this indirect character assassination of Will Smith. Yes, I agree. I agree with you, Angel Exodus presents, that she's definitely coming off like the villain, and she's coming off a little bit like a... Oh, okay. He skipped over that part of his recent... Oh, snap. J. Cole did that? Oh, wow. Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. That is. Thank you for sharing that, Makeup Doja. I didn't even know that. So thank you. But yeah, like, it's unfortunate that she's... I mean, I understand it is to sell a book. Okay. But she's saying that this is her tell-all book, her sharing about her thoughts and everything. Makeup Doja said I have to send you the video. Yes, you do. Send it to me. Send it to me so I can check it out. So for her to then talk about Will and how she didn't understand why he slapped him and everything, and then going back to talking about Tupac and her connection and how there was chemistry, but it was just a friend. Like, girl, sit down. This guy has been deceased for many, many a moon. Thank God his killer is finally seeing justice. But outside of that, girl, have several seats, okay? Because the woman that he loved, he married. Even though they got an annulment, he married the woman that he wanted to marry. If there was a future for you guys, it would have happened. So you need to sit down and, handle that. But I just feel like this whole pining away for this long lost love or whatever I honestly feel that Jada needs mental help, personally. Like I said, this guy has been dead for many years, and she talks about stuff that cannot be, there's no one to corroborate her story. Like I said, there's nothing there. She's just talking, and there's no one to say yay or nay to it. And it's like, lady, just sit down. And I just feel like she needs to make a decision about what she wants to do with her love life. Does she want to continue to pine over a ghost, or does she want a divorce? And I know that it takes two to make a divorce happen, but something, because it's toxic at this point. And like I always have said, if it's toxic, then you need to let it go. I see new faces coming in. Welcome to Kaynichole After Dark, where we talk about relationships and everything that is a part of that. And anybody that wants to catch old episodes, definitely check out the YouTube. The link is in the bio. So just wanted to briefly talk about that, not spend my entire time. What time is it actually? Because I want to make sure that I cover, okay, it's 10:19. Okay. That I cover a few things, because like I said, relationship stuff has been going crazy this week. So, there has been, a viral video of a woman in a car, not getting out the car, because the gentleman took her to the Cheesecake Factory. Put up hearts if you've seen that video. If you've seen that video of the Cheesecake Factory. If you haven't, I will post it in the YouTube. I'll post it up so that you can watch it. It'll probably be up here. And you can check out a quick snippet of that. But if you haven't seen it, it is an Indian man and a black woman. She is nicely dressed, and they're in a vehicle, and he goes around tries to open the door for her, and she has the camera on, and she snidely says, "Oh, I look like this and he's taking me to the Cheesecake Factory. Like, what is going on with him?" So outside of the fact that she kept on doing like this with her hair, I'm like, bitch, get it together. Either put a hair clip or something, but this constantly, like, I don't know. I don't like when women constantly play with their hair and everything like that. It gives me idiot vibes. And clearly that's what she was. So go figure. She states that she looks too good to go to the Cheesecake Factory. As it's further explained, he had a different location for them to go to. However, she was late getting ready, and so they missed their reservations. And so instead of saying, you know what, we missed the reservations, I don't know where to take you, or anything like that, he still wanted to salvage the date and take her out to the Cheesecake Factory. But because of her ungrateful ass, he decided, you know what, I'm going to take you home. Because not only were you late, first of all, I find that the whole recording thing is rude automatically. So as soon as she started putting the camera up, I'd be like, yeah, this whole date there's something wrong with this. I'm going to take a step back and take you home. Because I find that to be odd anyway. Why are you taking the camera out? Unless you're taking pictures of food or whatever, what is going on? But like outside of that, not only were you late, and didn't have any care for this man's time and apologized for the lateness, but you said that you're dressed too good for the Cheesecake Factory. Now, personally, yes, it's a chain restaurant. Okay, it's the Cheesecake Factory, yes, but it's a first date. You're getting to know that person. I don't understand why women are counting a man's wallet or looking at where he takes you on the first date. This is a time for you to get to know each other, really, and be in a setting where you get to see each other's eating habits and things of that nature. You know, a lot of the times people have conversations on the phone, but in this microwave age lifestyle, people on the phone for a hot second. And then, Hydra, yes, you did post the video. Yes, I've seen many people post the video, but yes, you're one of the people that did. And they, gosh, acknowledging that just made me lose my train of thought, but okay. But not only were you, again, like I said, she was late, didn't apologize, and they took it to the Cheesecake Factory. Yes, it's a chain restaurant, but it's a time for you guys to get to know each other. Like I said, okay, that's where I lost. In this microwave society, people talk on the phone for maybe a hot second and then want to get to know each other and then possibly bang or whatever case might be, if that's the type of energy they're on. I personally feel like that's not the energy that you want to be on if you're looking for a serious connection and relationship, but people do it. Some people are very backwards in many ways. But in any case, I just feel like the arrogance of her saying that for her that she looks, who are you, lady? I wouldn't have even known who you were until your video had gone viral. And honestly, I still don't know who you are because I don't know your first name. All I know is that you're quote unquote bougie because the Cheesecake Factory is not an inexpensive date. And like I said, she was doing this constant hair shit, and that like totally pissed me off because like I said, that gives me dumb woman vibes automatically that you keep on playing with your hair. Like, put your hair in a way that it's not constantly in your face, okay? But she was doing it because she thought she was cute. Apparently, I'm gonna say that because she's like, take to the Cheesecake Factory, like, look at me. Like, look at me. Yeah, we are looking at you, and you're wearing a green dress. Nothing overly over the top. You're not you're not, in baguettes and jewels galore. So where are we taking you, ma'am, that you cannot go and sit there? Only thing I would say is carry a sweater because it might be cold. And you didn't seem like you were dressed to be in air conditioning. Like, that's the only thing that I could possibly say about that. But otherwise, there's nothing wrong with the Cheesecake Factory. And I feel that women are are delusional in some point in time. Like, when did you get off the feel that you're this woman that should be? Now, granted, I do feel that a woman should be put on a pedestal, but that's once you know her. Okay, I don't feel like you should be put all the way up here without a man truly knowing who you are, because maybe you don't belong up here. Maybe you're just not that woman that belongs up here. Maybe you belong a little down here. And I feel like a woman like her, she didn't belong up here. She belonged down here. I would throw her a cheeseburger and keep it moving. That's what kind of energy you deserve, because not only, like I said, she didn't apologize for making him late to the restaurant that they would have gone to, but she wanted to complain about the restaurant that he decided to take her to, to still salvage the date. And I feel like that's a good man, that he still wants to salvage the date and still figure out. And also, I give him kudos for able to think on a dime and, kind of work around her, because he probably didn't expect for her to be a whole hour late, and he was telling her to be on time. But you know what? He had to pivot, and he pivoted to Cheesecake Factory. I don't see anything wrong with that. And then she was all upset when he was like, well, not upset, but she was just shocked that he was going to send her home. And you shouldn't be. You were ungrateful and rude to that man when he was very kind and pleasant to you, and, showed that he was willing to work with you, and you weren't willing to work with him. Angel Exodus Presents says she thought she could play him and get fan support. It definitely didn't work out like that. She wasn't serious about the dating opportunity. Judy Fission says facts. Amar says love. Hello. Welcome to Kaynichole After Dark, where we talk about relationships. A cheeseburger. Yeah. I would have thrown her a cheeseburger and kept it moving, because I don't believe in being ungrateful. Not everybody, has an opportunity to meet good men out there. There's a lot of scallywags out there, and I feel like if you meet a nice one, be decent to him. There's no reason to be nasty or rude or anything like that. And so I just find it uncalled for. So, which led me to another video I had seen, which was about this woman. And once I find it in the YouTube replay, I'll put it up here for you to check it out. She states about, and maybe put hearts if you've seen this one, about a man using a credit card on a date. And if he uses a credit card on a date, then he's broke, because a credit card is paid by the government, and that it's like he didn't really take her on a date. So if he's not using cash, then he didn't really take her on a date. Chica, what the hell are you talking about? You sound like a whole idiot. But she was a whole idiot, because I'm saying the government is a credit card company. No, that's not how that works. And a credit card builds your credit score. So how broke is he if he's being financially savvy and not using cash and using a credit card and making sure that he stays within the, the low interest rates and everything like that, and is saving up to get a house and everything like that? Like, what is going on here? So I feel that a lot of women are kind of being delusional, and I don't even know where they're coming up, where this information is even coming from, and I would like to say that we are just showcasing the worst, and unfortunately it's Black women, and that's what I care about the most, kind of, is that we continue to make this narrative that Black women are greedy, we're takers, we're this and we're that. And I mean, there are, just like there's white women that are takers, there's Spanish women that are takers, there are Indian women that are takers. There's no, there's no color basis on this, but that's the narrative that's often spoken in the Black community. And I know we have this red pill, blue pill mentality. And I'm just sick of us sharing the negativeness of certain women out here and making that like that's the propaganda of all women, or how most Black women think, because most of us are more educated than that. Most of us are smarter than that. Or at least I'm going to speak for myself. I'm smarter than that. And I'm still looking for my king. So, yeah, that's smart and brilliant and everything like that. And I don't mind going to the Cheesecake Factory because, yeah, it's a good date. Or we can stay home and fucking cook. How about that? How about that? If you feel comfortable enough for us to be in each other's homes, let's cook for each other. Let's find an online dish to make and let's actually make something, and that can help us with our communication skills, see how well we communicate. We can see how well we work together, instead of going to a restaurant and seeing how well we can read a menu and look at our phones, because that's mostly what the date is going to encompass. Because I don't think people are genuinely looking for real connections if they're going to film it. That's just my opinion. I don't think you're looking for a real connection if you're filming it. Let me get to these messages real quick. The Injustice Brand says, what was she smoking? I don't know. It just sounded crazy to me. Makeup Doja says she probably wouldn't be mad when he uses his credit card points to pay for vacations. She probably would. She probably like, oh, it's not a real vacation. He didn't really use real money for it. Night Injustice Presents says, what? Now women are coming at credit card usage now? Yes. Dritty Vision says, nope, that all women. What is all women? And making a generalization like that, Dritty, you are divisive. So I'm going to I don't mean that all women, I'm saying every race. Oh yeah, every race of women, yes. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Want to support, buy a badge. Night Injustice Presents says, I agree. The Pookie and Ray Ray men and women are getting all the PR. So I know it's not all women, but via social media, it looks bad. Tyree JPEG says it's all about the culture that Black men has created, unfortunately. No, I don't. Tyree, I don't agree with that. People allow what certain behavior, and you can say no to that behavior. You can have standards and have your non-negotiables and put those in play. And I think that a lot of people play with people or put their non-negotiables to the side because of sexual reasons. Or thank you, Makeup Doja. I really appreciate that. Dritty Vision says I don't agree with his comment. Whose comment? And if you want to, and anybody that wants to talk on live with me, you're more than welcome to join the chat and be a part of the conversation. I'm not saying that a person has to only text back and, message back and forth, just so you know. Yes, that's true, but culture determines context. Of course, but I'm talking about our culture in America right here. And I do believe that the ratchetness gets the uneducated people get the PR of what kind of dates are out there, what kind of they're doing, and kind of making it seem like that's the general consensus. And there are so many women that they could care less about the date as long as it's a genuine connection with that person. There's women that first of all, the credit card statement one was hilarious to me because I was like, she's a straight up fool. And when I was looking under the comments, they were saying, is she friends with the Cheesecake Factory lady? And it was just like, they're both a hot ass mess, because it's just, you don't treat people like that, first of all. And they're human beings. How would you like to be treated? What's funny is I bet the female that said about the credit card doesn't even have one of her own. And it's so easy to talk about, or talk shit about something that you don't really have any familiarity with. And what I notice is that a lot of people say a lot of things and don't have the knowledge to back it up. And I realize, right, that they could actually look it up, but they choose not to because they want to choose ignorance. And as I've told someone else, that yeah, you have to have grace for people that are ignorant, but then you have to know that certain people are willfully ignorant. And for those that are willfully ignorant, you leave them right there because they're not trying to obtain knowledge. I want to be around people that are looking to obtain knowledge, and knowledge is all around. You just have to be able to look for it and be able to want to digest it. But there's a lot of people that want to walk around stupid and shit. So allow them to do that. But you're not going to do that with my time. And so I just feel like the expectations out here that certain women have is ridiculous. It truly, and there's no reason for it. And this whole like, oh, I want the 1%, or I want this. I always believed in being equally yoked, So if I have my own place, yes, I would like for my mate to have his own place. But I'm not going to say, oh, I want my man to have a car when all I have is a bus card. Look at your situation, okay? And don't be ungrateful. If y'all got to ride the bus together, then ride the bus together, because you never know when that car might break down. And then y'all might have to take public transportation together. What, you're going to be like, fuck that nigga because he don't have a car no more, so bye-bye. I'm not taking the bus with him. If you love somebody, y'all will walk together. Y'all will take the bus together. And then y'all will drive in that Mercedes together. But it's about devotion and commitment. And I feel like the people that are looking for those things are not about devotion and commitment. And they're not there for the long run. And I'm saying people easily show their spots. And that's what I'm really here to talk about. Because I'm even sure with the whole Will and Jada thing that Jada showed her hand. Probably many times to Will, and he probably ignored it or whatever case might be, because she said other shit and everything like that he wanted to hear and that he liked and everything. But there's always warning signs and stuff like that. We just have to be willing to open our eyes and see them and not get all wrapped up in the aesthetics of it. Oh, she looks so hot. I want to get under that. Or he's so fine. I can't wait for him to get underneath me. Like, no. Let's focus on the long run. And that's why I'm saying I'm here to help build relationships and for people to see through all that, because I want us to have real Black love out here. I want us to have lasting relationships, and not where we're trying to tear each other down, but build each other up. Let me look at past messages. Give me a second. Night Exodus Presents says, Black men definitely did not create this culture as a whole or by themselves. No, we do it together. We do it together. We build each other up and tear each other down together. But what I'm asking of us is to do better. And we can do better. Because knowledge is power. And once you know better, you should be doing better. Tyree JPEG says, Black men did create this culture, unfortunately, because if it wasn't for them and this fake, rich, wealthy nonsense, Black women wouldn't expect expensive dates and vacations on the first date. No, I don't agree with that. I feel that a lot of times people look at the grass as... Okay. First of all, if we really want to go into it, we follow white culture. And we're not able to keep up because we are not afforded the same opportunities. Okay? When we go and look for jobs, oftentimes the white men and white women are given higher paying positions for the same work. Okay? Then the Black man makes more money than the Black woman based on the work. Okay, it's still, they make more even if they're doing the same job. Okay, a black man has the opportunity to make more money. And so we do things. I mean, yes, we have things that are distinctively black, but we are in a society that was not made for us. Okay, we are in a very materialistic society. Okay, and a lot of things are targeted to us. You know, the way that they're not targeted to white folks. I'll be completely honest. Because they you can say that, but I can show you all the white execs that make things for black people to buy, but yet when you see white commercials, they're for Levi's. They're not even near as expensive as the jeans and stuff that you buy from your black marketers. But you know, there's white execs. So when you think that the blacks are marketing to you, they're not. It's white people that have black faces that are marketing to you. Because a lot of the times black people won't purchase from each other. Because oftentimes in our society, which is unfortunate, is that a lot of times we try to rape our own people by having things at high cost that are low value. You know, I mean, I understand a person like even in the hair community, you know, there are lock adornment accessories that a person can make for like $25, maybe less, as far as the work that's committed into putting it in, but they want 100% return on their on whatever they created. So instead of something that cost them $10 to make and they charge $25, they're going to charge $30 or $40 so they can make up and make extra. Why are we doing that to each other? Why are we trying to get 150% return on a product that we know didn't cost that much for us to make it? So when we stop trying to gouge each other and stuff like that, then we'll be able to. And that's why so many people that we don't buy from each other, we still buy from the white man, unfortunately. So, I mean, I hear you, but I definitely disagree with you. Tyra says we don't follow white culture because if we did, we would have infrastructure and functional and thriving community. Did you just say that? Did you just say that? We would have thriving communities? I don't think you know very many white people, sir. I'm almost sick to my stomach that you even said that. Our culture derives from Africa, not from America. Really? Well, you must have, your roots must stem from Africa and you must know your family from Africa then. But I know a lot of people that were born in America and identify as Americans because they don't know anything about Africa. They don't even know, before 21andMe, they didn't even know where their family was in Africa. So unless you have direct descendants from Africa that you know of, then you can say that. But for the Americans, the African Americans, or straight up Americans, because they don't really know shit about Africa, then yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. So that makes no sense. The culture, you're saying culture, but how is our culture derived from a place that most of us have never been? I'm sorry to go like directly at you, but I mean, since you're saying that, I want to be able to like really get to the nitty gritty and the facts. You know, how can we adapt a culture that we're not really a part of? So that might be for you personally, but I'm American, and the roots that I know that I have roots in Africa, but I don't know them. I know my Cuban roots from my father. I know my Chinese roots from my mom. And I know my Native American Seminole roots from my family. Well, how are we African American then? Because how are we African American then? You know what? I'm not going to have that conversation with you. I'm going to let you sit in the corner. I'm going to let you sit in the corner by yourself. I can't. I can't. I can't. We're going to let you sit in the corner by yourself. Yo, I need to drink on that. Tyree, baby. Tyree, baby. You need to educate yourself, sweetheart. You need to educate yourself. I don't know. I don't want to insult you, but I'm going to ask you to educate yourself, sir. I'm going to ask you to educate yourself. And once you do that, then we can have another conversation. Because that's too much for one day. I can't do all that in one night. If you're going to have a conversation, let's seriously have it. Because I'm in the know with most things, unlike most people. I'm in the know with most. You're in the know. So, okay. So if you're in the know, please explain how a culture. Okay. African is a continent made up of different countries. Okay. And each country has its own kind of culture. Okay. People that are born on the Ivory Coast are not the same as the people in Swaziland or the people in Ghana or the people in Nigeria. Okay? And let's go there. Since Egypt is in Africa, they're African people too. So what culture, sir, would you be talking about? Since they're made up so many. So that's why I said, what are you talking about? So you're not in the know. You are very much not in the know. And we say African American because Negro was no longer appreciated. Colored was no longer appreciated. No, you're trying to make it into something simple. That's not how culture. That is how culture works. That is how culture works. Because you said an African culture, and Africa is made of different countries that have different ways how they do their culture. That's like saying Washington D.C. culture is different from American culture. Come on now. It has its own sect. It does actually. But there is an overcompassing, and then it's like a web. Have you ever done like a book, when you had to have a topic and then you drew out like little spider webs from each thing? Yeah. So you can say the African culture and then break it down to the different parts of what, but no, they're not of the same. They're not of the same. So yes, Washington, D.C. does have its own culture. They have go-go music, where someplace else will have a different kind of music. So it is a different culture. Just like if I go to Pennsylvania, they'll call soda pop. But here we call it soda, or we call a sandwich a sub, but they'll call it in Philly a hoagie. It's the same thing. It's just called something different. It's part of their culture. Like I said, have several seats, sir. You don't know what you're talking about. American culture. Yes, there's the overall thing. Like, American culture is baseball. But there's different sects, and that's the whole breakdown. So what you're saying is very Like I said, I don't know what you're talking about. So when you want to have this battle of wits with me, please come correct, because you're actually making me tight now, because you're questioning somebody that has a lot more knowledge than you actually right now, sir. And if you choose to unfollow me right now, Tyree, I'm cool with it, because I don't like people to not open their minds when I'm trying to educate somebody. I'm trying to educate you, and the fact that you were trying to be so narrow-minded and be firm on your willful ignorance kills me. And that's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about when I say willfully ignorant. So thank you for being an example for the night of willful ignorance. Night Angel Exodus presents, I am 6 generations away from slavery. I'm a Negro American. I know at best that my ancestors are from Nigeria, but outside of that, I have direct connections to that country. So, there you go, from another person. I don't even know if Tyree's still on here. But I just can't. That just got my blood pressure up. Yo, I mean, I'm always for a good debate, but like I said, like we have to be honest with ourselves. And if I don't know something, I'm fine with that. Like I never planned on. I'm just saying, because, like, you know, I can't handle willful ignorance, and I love my people, and we can agree to disagree, which I will agree to disagree with you right there. But come now, like, please. So when you say African culture, there's nothing African about shaking your ass on stage and everything like that, like Sexy Red is doing. What are you talking about? There's ratchetness in Black culture, just like there's upstanding, you know, bougie Blackness in our culture. We have, you know, it's just about education is the line. Honestly, the line separates us from education and finances. That's how you can say, oh, the Cosbys versus, what the fuck? Everybody Hates Chris. The differences of how the families are going to act is education and money. You never saw, Chris's father having a calm, you know, dancing relationship with Rochelle. It was something different. Now, if that's what you want to do, I'm cool with that. I can have a combo and let it be that. Tyree. I don't know what that was in reference to. I've gone on now. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, that is the difference, you know, between our people is really the finances and education. And that's between anybody. That's even between any group of people. That is why it's been such a big deal for us. And I know I'm going on a tangent. Has nothing to do with Black love, but it has to do with understanding this fucking society that we're in, because they're getting rid of the middle class. Okay, which is the class that I've grown up in. You know, the class that I've grown up in is shrinking and disappearing. Where there's hardly any middle class people now. It's either going to be rich or you're going to be poor, and there is nothing going to be in the in between. That is what society is shooting for now, and they're shooting for, actually, most people to be in the poverty section, and the certain elite be at the top, and the rich and be the 1%. And the more they figure out different rules and laws and stuff like that to keep people on the bottom. They're going to continue to do that. And that is why when people say voting and everything like that, do what you can. Be a part of society, you know. Be an active member of society, because they are doing so much to break us down as a people. It's getting ugly out here. Like, I watch things and I hear, you know, the rumblings of both, you know, black and white. Like I said, I have had the luxury of being around so many different kinds of people. And it baffles. Today, yo, let me tell y'all a quick story, right? Because this had me tight earlier today. I live in Long Island, right? Now, Long Island has been known to be somewhat of a racist place, because it was very divided, you know. They had like the Levitt houses and everything like that, so only certain people could live in certain sections and stuff like that. So that has been years ago, but it still is entrenched in our society and in Long Island today, because I went to a diner. I wanted to get something from this particular diner because I love what they have there. And I went in and I was like, "Hi, may I please have this?" and everything like that. And the woman's like, "Oh, you have such good manners." And I was like, "What? Like, who is she talking to?" And I realized she was talking about me. And I was highly fucking offended, because I was like, why wouldn't I have good manners? Why wouldn't I know how to talk to somebody? Why wouldn't I be able to articulate myself in such a way to be able to get what I need and get what I want? And I was so offended. But I didn't say anything, you know. I just, like, whatever. Ignorant white woman. It just is what it is. But there are people that think that somehow black people are uncultured, or that they have this mindset, and it's because of what is constantly put out there about black people, you know, or our music and everything. And they see this on social media, oh, pussy pink, booty hole brown, like, and think like that is the majority of us. And so we constantly have to show that we are each our own individuals. And I mean, it's hard to show that, because it's like people are going to believe what they want, you know, like I said, the willful ignorance. But it's just maddening how we're in fucking 2023, and the fact that she was surprised that I had manners. It's like, I'm a fucking adult. Why wouldn't I have manners? But that shows us what she's been, what she's experienced and what she's been around. And all I can do say is, Lord help her. So, I mean, I'm glad that I was able to showcase that, you know, I was raised well and not drug up. But you know what? There are some of us that have been drug up and have to teach ourselves to have manners and teach ourselves, you know, how to navigate in higher society. Because you know what? There's some people that have never left their block. And I know some people are like, that's crazy. But no, there's some people that have never left their block. There is some people that have never left their state. There is some people that have never taken a bus outside of their state. There's some people that have never gotten on a plane before. You know? So when you are afforded certain opportunities, you have to be thankful, because not everybody has the opportunity to do that. You know, I'm recently meeting people that they're like, oh, I've never been on a cruise before. And I was like, what? You never been on a cruise? But I was like, yo, that's rude of me to be looking at them like, because not everybody can afford the same opportunities. And so I have to say that I am blessed and I am thankful for the opportunities I have been given. And so when you are given certain things, you say, thank you, Lord, thank you. So when it comes to like relationships and meeting people and stuff like that, like I said, for the woman that was taken to the Cheesecake Factory, you should be thankful that a man sees you worthy to even want to take you out and spend money on you, and he doesn't know you from Adam. He didn't have to. You know, and I feel like we constantly are looking at people and saying, what can they give us? And I'm saying, no, you should look to be a blessing to somebody. You should look to be a blessing, not always looking for your hand out. And that kills me in this day and age where women are looking to have their hand out. And it's like, no, we need to be a blessing to each other. So instead of saying, and that's where it's all fucked up, you should never go into the mindset, a man nor woman, oh, what can they do for me? No, how can I be a blessing to them? And I'm sure that will get your gears thinking way further and way farther than what can they do for me? Because you don't know them. You don't know what they can do for you. But you know what? You know how you can be an asset. And that's what's most important. I got 16 seconds remaining. So thank you all for tuning in to Kaynichole After Dark. Love you guys. Anybody that's missed any past episodes, definitely check out the YouTube. And by all means, always keep your crown straight.